Hi folks, this is Vicki from patternprincess.com. Today I want to show you how to do a pattern that's kind of been on my bucket list for quite some time. It's called the Granny Ripple. And it has nice peaks and valleys, and I'm using a Caron Big Cakes yarn that has just lovely color. And it says it's a medium weight yarn, but it's a little, it's a little bit on the thick side of medium. Of a number 4, but I'm just loving the colorways. This is what I started with in the middle, and this is what I got coming up. These are each of the colors depicted that I've used so far in it, and I'm about halfway through this, and this is how much I've been able to crochet. I'm making this blanket about 50 inches long. When you measure your first beginning chain, I use my gauge, but then after I even had, this is where I started from this row. When I started and I laid it out, I said, oh gosh, it's kind of too big. My gauge must be off. But then when you lay it on the floor or lay it on a table and you make sure that you make your peaks and valleys, you don't stretch it out, and then you use a tape measure, this one came out to the right gauge, to 50, about 50. And so when you measure, make sure that you lay it out. But I'm going to show you how simple it is to do this. This is just a row 2 repeat all the way through. So once you get to row 2, you're golden. It is multiples of 18. However, I would say if you want to have the peak and a valley and a peak and a valley, like if you want to start with a peak and end with a peak, do 36. If you don't care, but to get through one peak and one valley, you're going to need 18. So it's either 18 or 36. So I'm going to try and remember to explain that in the pattern. Again, this is Caron Big Cakes. The color is Toffee Brickle. It says to use a size H 5.0 millimeter hook. It says it's medium 4 weight, but I'm using an I 5.5 millimeter. That's just because that's what I had out. And that's what I'm using. I didn't feel like digging my other one. So I have a chain of 36 already done. So what we're going to do is in row 1, we're going to do three double crochets in the 5th chain from the hook. So we don't count the loop on the hook. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4. We skip 4. In the 5th chain, we're going to do 3 double crochet. Okay, so and this is double crochets pretty much all the way through. So it's it's so simple. Chain 2, yeah. Count 2, 1, 2, and in the 3rd chain, do 3 double crochet. And so right now we're going to be making a peak in just a minute. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do that again. Skip 2, 1, 2. In the 3rd, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Okay. So what we have so far is we have our 3 double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches and do 3 double crochet in the next chain. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches, and now we have 3 double crochet in that next chain. But now to make our peak, because right here already is our first peak, in that same stitch we're going to do 3 chains, 2, 3, and then we're going to go right back in the same stitch and do 3 more double crochets. Okay, and then the next we're going to come down the side of the hill. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and that 3rd one, 3 double crochets. And this does kind of curl up on you. As you get your rows going, it flattens out, and you just kind of give it a tug, and it'll be fine. And as you work like this, notice how it's not just a gentle wavy zigzag, it looks like it's taking a sharp corner. That's okay. It's all gonna even out, all right? Don't worry, it's all gonna even out. So we're gonna do one more double crochet cluster. 1, 2, 3. So the third chain, we're gonna do one more 3 double crochet in the same stitch. Okay, now we're going to make our valley. So to make our valley, we're going to skip 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th chain, we're going to work 3 double crochets. So then what I do is I yarn over to just double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count with my hook like that. I know it's crazy, but that's what I do. And I keep my fingers right on the chain where I'm going to go to, because otherwise, I don't know. I tend to lose count when I'm starting this first, just when I'm starting this first row. It just, you know, it's just a trick that I have. So I don't have to keep redoing my first row because I've messed it up. But now we're doing 3 double crochet in that stitch. Because now we're making we've made our valley. Let me pull out a little bit more yarn. Okay. And then we're going to work skip 2 chains, and the third we're going to work our 3 double crochet, because now we're moving up our hill, right? We're moving up the hill. We're going to make our peak. And what you got to remember is that in between each peak or valley, because here's your first peak, we have there's always going to be 2 clusters of 3 double crochet before you get to either a peak or a valley. Once you get going, it just becomes really easy. So here's our 2 clusters of 3 double crochet. We have a peak. Here's our 2 clusters of 3 double crochet. We have a valley. Here's our 2 clusters of 3 double crochet. And now we're going to make our peak. I got to get more yarn. I apologize. I had to cough, so I had to break the film. Okay, so we're going to skip 2. In the third one, we're going to work our peak, so which is our 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and our chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochet right in that same space. 2, 3, and then we're going to skip 2. Now we're going to work down our hill. 1, 2, and the third one we're going to work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and skip 2. 1, 2, and the third is our 3 double crochet. And then we have 1 more chain left, and we're going to work a double crochet in this one right here. And I'm going to show you how it looks. Here is our 36 stitches. So that's what I mean. You have it'll eventually go out like this. But right now it looks like an M. It's okay. So this would be 18 stitches. So this is 1 pass, 1 peak, and a valley. And then this is 18 stitches. So I've done a sample here of 36. So this is row 1. We're going to go on to row 2. And it's really, this is a repeating pattern, the whole blanket. It's very wonderful pattern. And like I said, when I paired this with this yarn that was variegated yarn, it's so pretty and easy. So okay, we're going to start off, we're going to do a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to skip the first 3 double crochet, and we're going to work in the space between the 2 sets of 3 double crochet. And we're just going to do our 3 double crochet. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry about that. We just had to take a little break. Now we're going to move to the next space in between the 2 sets of 3 double crochet. And we're going to work 3 double crochet. So it's just a very simple pattern. And just always remember that you have 2 sets of 3 double crochet on the leading up to a peak, or 2 sets of double crochet coming down to a valley, the whole pattern. So you should always have that. And then we're going to work on our chain 3 space. And so just like a regular granny square, you're going to do our 3 double crochet, and then our chain 3 and 3 double crochet. So there's 3 double crochet. It's like working a corner space. 2, 3, and then our 3 double crochet. 2, 3. Now we're going to work back down. We work in between our 2 sets of 3 double crochet. So right here, we're going to do 3 double crochet. 2, 3. Moving on to the next one. 1, 2, 3. Now, here's our valley. We have 2 sets of 3 double crochet. We're going to skip working here. It's going to cause it to make the valley, okay? So we're going to skip. We are 2 sets of 3 double crochet. We're going to skip working here, and we're going to move to this next space over here that's in between the next set of 3 double crochet, and we're just going to work our 3 double crochet. And I'll show you in a second how it's starting to look. 3, and I'm going to do 1 more on the side here. Now we just work the next one between our 2 sets of 3 double crochet, and then I'll show you. 2, 3. See how that valley's starting to take shape? So here's our peak, and here's our valley where we skipped. So that looks nice. And now we're going to work our next peak. We go to the chain 3 space here, and we work our 3 double crochet. My yarn's sticking. 2, 3, and our chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then our 3 double crochet. 3, okay, and then we're going to work our 2 sets of 3 double crochet on the side. So we skip that first cluster of 3 double crochet, 2, 3, we skip to the next, which is your last cluster for this sample, 2, 3. Now we skip this, and then we're going to work into our top turning chain right there, and we're just going to do a double crochet. This pattern, this row I just worked, is a repeating pattern throughout your entire pattern, no matter how long you have it. Remember, it's multiples of 18, or if you want to make sure it's symmetrical on both sides, it's a repeat of 36, however you'd like to do it. And so this is how to work the pattern. This is a small swatch of it, and again, this happens to be a blanket I'm working on right now. And this is how this is looking. It's a little bit curled on the bottom, but I think with just a little bit of shaping, it's going to be just fine. But I have nice peaks, beautiful colors throughout. This is just wonderful for a variegated yarn. So I hope that you like this tutorial on how to do the granny stitch, the zigzag. It's a chevron. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I will have the directions for free on the website. Take care. Have a wonderful time crocheting.